Hi, thank you for visiting our website. My name is Liz Kuhn. I am one of the partner attorneys here at North Metro Litigators, a Hait Kuhn firm. We practice family law, personal injury, bankruptcy, and divorce. I've been here since 2005. This is the first place I ever started, and I'm still here. I got into law because honestly, I always wanted to be a lawyer ever since I was a little kid. My mom was actually a victim of family violence, and there was an attorney that helped her through such a dramatic process, and it just really touched me how much that person was able to help my mom. So I said, you know what, I want to be that when I grow up. I get it. A lot of attorneys don't get it, and that's really the nutshell. In all of our practices, I've been in a car accident. I know what it's like to go through the suffering and to try and explain it to somebody who's never done that. Very difficult. I've also been divorced, in my 20s, did something not so smart, went through the shame, went through the failure feelings. And while I've never had to file bankruptcy, being a student struggling, putting myself through school while working, and sometimes everything you try to do doesn't work. So I've understood those feelings also. We are not afraid to go to court. That's the biggest thing. Most people think, oh, lawyer, courtroom. Absolutely not. When you're interviewing an attorney, say, hey, when's the last time you went to court? It's rare for me to not go to court. In fact, my schedule come up and say, oh my gosh, I don't have court. What's going on? And my staff says, you're on vacation next week. Oh, that's what's going on. The reason you want an attorney with a lot of courtroom experience is because they have a reputation that don't mess with my client because I'll just take the case to the judge. Whereas other attorneys are afraid to take the case to the judge, so they kind of force their clients to settle, and sometimes they compromise. They compromise at the expense of the client, and that's not fair. For example, in our personal injury cases, we send out settlement offers, we get ridiculous responses, we file a lawsuit, and all of a sudden the insurance company's, oh, what, whoa, we didn't mean it, let's get reasonable, because they know. You're not going to be reasonable, that's fine. We're going to change playgrounds. Playground isn't going to be the conference room, you're going to go to the courtroom, you're going to tell 12 jurors why your client shouldn't pay. Currently, I'm involved in a case, and to give public details, because that's different than private details, because the case is still in litigation, I represent a former assistant principal of one of the Fulton County schools. So here is little assistant principal up against Fulton County, which is a pretty big deal. Fulton County has their big dog lawyers. They have an entire legal team, thanks to the taxpayers, you're paying for that. And they filed a motion to dismiss our case, and this is all public record. And they had 12 reasons to dismiss the case, and so I'm analyzing it, and I said, okay, maybe 3 are valid. There was one really interesting particular issue that I thought, uh-oh, this might be the case that gets dismissed. We go into the courtroom. Fulton County has their beautiful blow-ups, thanks to the taxpayers. And there's little old me at, North Metro Litigators. Who am I? Not some big Fulton County, hosh-posh attorney. And we hear the arguments, everything, and I leave, and my client's like, well, you know what? We fought hard. Whatever happens, happens. And I got a call from the judge's assistants the next day and said, Ms. Kuhn, prepare an order denying all counts on their motion to dismiss. And so that was a big deal. We have this little secret in the office, and I'll share with you because you're watching the video. We call it the butt dance. And when we get a big verdict, we just, and you can actually YouTube it. You can find one of those. It's just kind of fun entertainment. With regards to the family law, as you peruse our website, read our Google reviews, we have handled for sure hundreds, I'm not sure if it's been thousands of family law cases. Everything from, hey, we get along great, let's do it uncontested, which we, first of all, always encourage, which is not most lawyers. Most lawyers think, uncontested, I don't make a lot of money, these people make six figures, let's file it contested, generate a big fee, even though there's an agreement. They try to create a case, which isn't good. I mean, it's a family. You shouldn't mess with that. A divorce or a child custody or modifications, messing with that enough. They don't need a lawyer meddling. That's probably our biggest strength, is that we take it from the perspective of, let's settle your case. Nobody walks out smelling like a rose. Nobody gets what they want. There's not necessarily a good outcome in a divorce case. Your life is falling apart, and we get that. So we try to stop the crumbling, and we try to carefully put it back together. Maybe there are two holes, because you need to preserve that. You did love that person at one point. You did make a choice, but things change, and we get that. But it doesn't need to be World War III. Communication, big time communication. We, unlike other lawyers in all areas of our practice, we front load the cases. What does that mean? That means our clients know up front, what am I really getting into? What can I really expect? And it's fact specific. It's based on our clients' individual needs. So the communication from the beginning, clients aren't surprised when they get something in the mail, and we don't get the panic phone calls. The reason I don't get the panic phone calls is because you know it's coming. You know, if you get something from the bankruptcy court that's official looking and says objections to proof of claim or motion to dismiss for 72,000 reasons, most lawyers aren't going to tell you ahead of time that it's coming. So they get the phone call, and then your phone call's not returned. You're losing sleep. You're stressed out. You think you're going to be kicked out of your house. Whereas our clients, we hardly ever hear from you because we're the ones communicating with you. And that's a big deal in bankruptcy law. The biggest thing that we do in personal injury is take your case to a jury. We file your case. We don't mess around. A lot of personal injury attorneys, they don't want to try a case because it's expensive. It takes more effort. It's much easier to pass through settlements. And, you know, every dollar is worth it to us, whereas other lawyers, it's not. And let me illustrate for you. Let's say that you have a contract for fees and it's a 33% fee on it, and the case is worth, let's do a simple math case, $10,000. Well, let's say the insurance company offers $8,000, but the lawyer thinks it's worth 10. Well, the lawyer's fees on 33% of $8,000 versus 33% on $10,000 isn't justifying them to work the case. It's a couple $100. So they say, oh, you should just settle it. Well, that's $2,000 to you, so now we're talking possibly some real money here. You know, and the same thing goes with litigation. You know, they don't want to put the hours in because, okay, the $10,000 case, maybe they'll get $12,000 from the jury, but it's not worth it. We have a reputation of, we send out reasonable offers of settlement. A lot of attorneys will say, oh, well, the insurance policy limit's $1 million, so demand policy limits of $1 million. Well, if you were just an offender bender, and let's say you went to the hospital with an ambulance, let's say your car had $2,500 worth of damage, things like that, but you didn't break a bone, you weren't almost dead, you are not getting $1 million. So that lawyer starts with an unreasonable position, and the insurance company just throws their arms up. So we start really with a reasonable position. So when the insurance company comes back with an unreasonable position, we'll file one response to that and say, this is it. Like, we weren't, you know, starting at $1 million to get to 10,000. No, we started at, you know, 15,000 to get to 10,000 kind of thing. And we'll just take your case to court. And then all of a sudden we file and we'll get calls from the adjuster. Whoa, 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 whoa. I thought we were negotiating. And I said, well, you know, we did in good faith and you blew it. So we're going to go to court. Just come meet us. Have a free consultation. When I meet people out in public, you know, I talk to people. I'm a talker. I'm kind of a people person. And I always tell them, you don't buy a car based on what you read on Consumer Reports. Consumer Reports might start your search, just like our Google reviews, things of that nature. But you would never hire a lawyer just off of that. You know, so you need to interview lawyers. You should always have 2 or 3 that you're interested in talking to. And you should always go to somebody who offers a free consultation. You don't pay to go test drive a car. If you went to Lexus and you said, hey, I'd like to test drive, you know, the da-da-da, oh, sure, that'll be $250 for 15 minutes. You would just back off. And it bothers me. Attorneys' times are valuable, just like my clients' time's valuable. But it bothers me when somebody says, okay, you have to pay a fee. Now, we have extended consultations, which are a fee to get more into the details, but the initial consultation, it's free. Get to know the paralegals, get to know who's answering the phones, and get to know the attorney. I can't tell you how many attorneys would walk past their client on the street and not know who they are. It's embarrassing. Again, thanks for visiting our website. My name is Lizz Kuhn. Please feel free to drop us a note. If you look on the website, there's a little box where you can contact us immediately. If you don't feel comfortable doing that, please give us a call, and we can't wait to meet you. Thank you for visiting.